Imagine opening an email, right? And sitting right there in your inbox is a pencil sketch of a complete stranger.
Oh,
But the artist who drew it claims that this is the person you are destined to spend the rest of your life with.
oh, wow. That is quite the email to wake up to.
Right. What is your immediate reaction? Like, do you immediately hit print and frame it?
Or do you just laugh it off as some
Yeah.
sort of internet scam?
Yeah, or do you find yourself, later that afternoon secretly scanning the grocery store aisles,
Oh.
just looking to see if anyone has that exact jawline?
Honestly, it is a profound psychological test, really.
How so?
Well, because that scenario taps right into one of the most deeply wired vulnerabilities we have as human beings.
Which is?
We are fundamentally built for connection.
Yeah,
And the idea that there is a grand design to that connection.
like a destiny.
Exactly. A destiny, a specific face just waiting for us.
Yeah.
It's an incredibly powerful, almost intoxicating thought.
It really is. And today, we are going straight into the deep end of that exact thought. We're doing a deep dive into a truly fascinating guide.
The soulmate enigma.
Yes, the Soulmate Enigma, Tina Aldea's Guide to Destined Love. Specifically, we're looking at a huge Q&A section with Tina Aldea herself.
And she is the psychic artist known for creating those exact intuitive soulmate sketches, right?
That's her. And because of what she does, she receives thousands of questions from people all over the world who are just desperate to understand their romantic futures.
Right. So our mission for this deep dive is to explore the anatomy of those questions. We're going to look at what people are actually asking about soulmates, the mysterious timing of these connections, and the strange premonitions that supposedly precede them.
I can't wait.
But the real goal here is to understand what these questions reveal about our shared human desire to be seen, to be understood. And I think it's crucial to set an objective framework for you listening to this right now.
Yeah, that's important.
Whether you are a firm believer who checks your horoscope daily or a total skeptic who thinks this is all just, cognitive bias.
Or maybe just someone hoping for a little bit of luck after a really tough heartbreak.
Exactly. Regardless of where you stand, these concepts offer a fascinating analytical lens into how we view relationships, personal growth, and our own psychology.
Okay, let's unpack this, because before we can even talk about looking for a soulmate or analyzing sketches,
We have to define what one is.
right, we have to actually define what a soulmate fundamentally is. And this is where the source material immediately challenged everything I thought I knew.
What do you mean?
Well, society, movies, literally every romantic comedy ever made, they all condition us to look for this perfect person.
Oh, the whole Jerry Maguire, you complete me trope.
Yes. We are taught to look for the person who magically fills all our gaps, who finishes our sentences, and makes every day feel effortless.
Yeah, the missing half theory. It's pervasive, and from a psychological standpoint, it sets us up for massive disappointment.
It really does.
But the source synthesizes a completely alternative view, one that is actually deeply rooted in many ancient spiritual traditions.
All right.
These traditions don't describe a soulmate as a flawless puzzle piece who just arrives to make your life perfectly smooth.
Thank goodness.
Instead, they describe soulmates as individuals with whom we share a profound energetic connection. And the entire purpose of that connection is to help us grow.
To help us heal.
Exactly. To heal our deepest wounds and to evolve.
I found that distinction so refreshing. So instead of a missing puzzle piece, a soulmate is more like a spiritual workout partner.
I like that.
Yeah, like someone who spots you, but also puts more weight on the bar to push you to be better.
A spiritual workout partner is a great way to visualize it. Their role is to challenge your emotional stamina.
But wait, I have to push back on this a little bit because this sounds like a very slippery slope.
Okay, let's hear it.
If this person is meant to challenge us, to make us evolve, doesn't that mean a soulmate relationship could actually be deeply unpleasant at times?
Well, yeah.
Because, let's be honest, growth is rarely comfortable. If they are constantly pushing our buttons to help us heal, where is the line between a spiritual workout partner and just a flat-out toxic relationship?
That is a very fair point.
Like, how do I know it's destiny and not just a really bad match?
That is the absolute crucial question. If we connect this to the bigger picture, that is precisely why soulmate connections activate such deep emotional and spiritual lessons.
Okay.
The distinction between toxic friction and transformative friction basically comes down to the result.
The result.
Yeah. Toxic friction breaks you down. It diminishes your sense of self.
Right.
But transformative friction, the kind the source attributes to soulmates, it might be uncomfortable, but it ultimately expands you.
Oh, I see.
It forces you to confront bad habits, to communicate better, and to step into a more authentic version of yourself. And this entirely changes how we evaluate the success of the relationships in our lives.
Because if the goal is growth, then having an argument or going through a difficult phase isn't necessarily a sign that the relationship is doomed.
Exactly. It might be the exact mechanism of the healing.
Wow.
And the source notes something else that completely shatters our traditional understanding. Soulmates aren't always romantic.
Okay, that blew my mind. We are so conditioned to equate soulmates with spouse.
Right. But they don't have to be.
The text explicitly points out that they can be best friends, family members, mentors, teachers, even business partners.
Because the core identifier is the role they play in your evolutionary journey. It's not the social category of the relationship.
Right.
Think about a tough professor who pushes you to rethink your entire career trajectory.
Oh, yeah.
Or a best friend who stages an intervention and forces you to confront a destructive habit.
That makes perfect sense.
According to this framework, those are soulmate connections. They are doing the heavy lifting of helping you evolve.
That makes so much sense when you reflect on the people who have profoundly shaped your life. But let's pivot back to the romantic kind.
Okay, sure.
Because, frankly, that is what the vast majority of Tina Aldea's clients are asking her about. If a romantic soulmate is meant for our growth, how do we actually recognize them when they show up?
You'd think there'd be fireworks, right?
Yeah. You'd think if you meet your ultimate spiritual workout partner, there would be dramatic fireworks, lightning bolts, the whole cinematic experience.
You would assume that.
Yeah.
But the source details that recognition is rarely about fireworks or instant, overwhelming infatuation.
It's not.
No.
Mm.
In fact, intense, dramatic fireworks are often just anxiety or trauma bonding masquerading as passion.
Oh, wow. Right. The text says it's actually much quieter.
Exactly.
The experiences people report are rooted in a bizarrely strong sense of familiarity.
Yes.
It's having deep conversations that just bypass the usual small talk. It's feeling understood without having to, like, draft a thesis statement explaining your personality.
It's an ease.
Yeah. The Force describes this unexpected comfort, this immediate baseline of trust, and a powerful feeling like you've known them for years, even if you literally just shook their hand.
It is an intuitive recognition. Your nervous system just settles down around them.
I love that.
But this brings us to the most emotionally charged question that Tina Aldea receives. And it's one I guarantee almost everyone listening has agonized over at some point.
Let me guess. Why haven't I met them yet?
That's the one.
It's such a heavy, vulnerable question. You can literally feel the exhaustion behind it.
You really can. People search for years. They endure terrible dates. They go through a heartbreak, and they feel incredibly discouraged.
They think they're broken.
Exactly. They think they are broken. But the answer provided in the source hinges entirely on the concept of timing.
Timing.
Spiritual interpretations suggest that timing isn't just accidental, it's structural.
Structural. What do you mean?
Meaning certain life lessons, certain independent experiences, or specific periods of personal maturation simply must occur before two people have the capacity to meet and actually sustain that connection.
But I struggle with that.
Why is that?
If destiny is truly at play, why is timing so incredibly fragile? Like, if you are cosmically destined to be together, shouldn't the universe just make it work out whenever you happen to cross paths?
Well, because if we go back to our definition, that the purpose of the soulmate is mutual evolution, you both have to possess the specific tools the other person needs at that moment.
Oh, I see.
You can't be a spiritual workout partner if you haven't even learned how to lift your own emotional weight yet.
Okay, that makes total sense. And that perfectly frames one of the most fascinating details from the text, the idea of the missed connection.
Oh, yes.
The source says you can actually meet your soulmate more than once.
Right.
It talks about two people meeting before the timing is right, say in their early 20s.
Yeah.
They connect deeply, but they lack the maturity, or they are too selfish, or they just haven't learned those necessary life lessons yet.
So it explodes.
Exactly. They separate, they go off, they live entirely different lives, they grow individually, and then they reconnect a decade later under completely different circumstances, and suddenly it clicks.
That specific scenario resonates deeply because it reflects the reality of human development. Think about a relationship you, the listener, had 5 or 10 years ago that just crashed and burned.
We all have one.
Right. If you met that exact same person today, with the emotional vocabulary and the boundaries you possess right now, would the relationship have survived?
Probably.
Probably. The timing was wrong because the people were unfinished.
That is such a comforting way to view it.
And that is the psychological utility of this belief. Whether you believe this is literally orchestrated by a cosmic destiny or you just view it as the natural unpredictability of human maturity, the concept reframes our past.
It takes the sting away.
Exactly. It takes a failed relationship or a really long, lonely period of being single, and it completely removes the sting of romantic defeat.
You weren't failing at love.
No. You were in a mandatory incubation period. You were gaining the necessary skills to ensure your future readiness. It gives meaning to the waiting.
Wow. You weren't failing, you were preparing. That completely changes the narrative of being single.
It really does.
Okay, so if meeting this person requires us to reach this very specific level of personal readiness, the next logical question people have is, does the universe give us a heads up when we are finally ready?
A heads up.
Yeah, because according to the source, people are constantly emailing Tina Aldea asking about premonitions and signs.
Yes, the human desire to predict the future, especially regarding love, is insatiable. What kind of specific signs did the source highlight?
There is a whole list of them. First, the text talks about dreams.
Dreams.
People report having recurring dreams where they see an unknown face or they are navigating a relationship with a mysterious partner.
Interesting.
They dream of familiar, hyper-realistic locations that they've never actually visited in their waking life.
Right.
Or they have incredibly vivid conversations in their sleep that feel profound.
So the subconscious mind is essentially running emotional simulations to prepare the psyche.
Exactly. And then there are the waking signs. Meaningful coincidences.
Like what?
Like being repeatedly introduced to the same stranger in different contexts.
Oh, sure.
There's this reported phenomenon of strong intuition. Just a sudden, unshakable gut feeling that a major life shift is approaching.
Right.
People also report experiencing intense, sudden periods of self-growth or a sudden desire to change their lives right before meeting someone significant.
And then, of course, the numbers.
Yes. The numbers, this is everywhere online.
Recurring numbers.
People suddenly start seeing 111, 222, 444, or 777 on clocks, on license plates, on receipts, literally everywhere they look.
The numerical synchronicities. In spiritual circles, people believe these patterns symbolize alignment, that the universe is validating your path or signaling an incoming event.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because we have to talk about the mechanics of this.
Okay.
Are these signs actually the universe preparing us for a life event? Or is it just our brains experiencing a psychological phenomenon?
Like a cognitive bias.
Right, because we all know the red car theory, right?
Yeah.
You buy a red car and suddenly you feel like every other car on the highway is red.
Yeah, you never noticed them before.
But now your brain is primed to see them. So are we just noticing the numbers 444 because we are finally emotionally open and desperately looking for meaning?
Well, what's fascinating here is how the source actually embraces both perspectives, rather than forcing you to choose between magic and science.
Which I love. Let's look at the science first.
Right. So the phenomenon you're describing is called the frequency illusion, or the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon.
Yeah.
It is driven by your brain's reticular activating system. Think of your brain like a bouncer at an exclusive, incredibly crowded nightclub.
A bouncer, okay.
Every second, millions of pieces of sensory data are trying to get in the door. If the bouncer let everything in, you would lose your mind.
You'd be totally overwhelmed.
Exactly. So it has a VIP list.
And whatever you care about goes on the VIP list.
Exactly. When you suddenly desire a relationship or you start wondering about soulmates, you put those concepts on the VIP list.
Ah, I see.
So when the number 444 flashes on a billboard, a number the bouncer would normally ignore, the bouncer says, "Oh, wait, the boss is looking for signs of destiny right now. Let this one through."
And your conscious mind suddenly sees it everywhere.
Exactly. Science views this as your pattern-matching brain doing its job. Science views the dreams not as prophecies, but as the subconscious mind metabolizing your desires and anxieties about intimacy.
Okay, so the brain is just filtering for what we suddenly care about. But what about the spiritual perspective?
Well, the spiritual communities view that exact same filtering process differently.
How so?
They believe that those numbers and those dreams are symbolic messages from the universe, and your brain is finally awakening to a higher frequency to actually receive them.
Right.
The source makes a brilliant synthesizing point here.
Which is?
Regardless of the mechanism, whether it is literal divine guidance from the cosmos or just the bouncer in your brain projecting your own subconscious readiness, the effect is exactly the same.
How do you mean?
Because these experiences consistently inspire people to stop and reflect.
Oh, I see.
When you see 444 and you think it's a sign, It prompts introspection. It makes you ask yourself, am I actually ready for a relationship right now? What do I fundamentally want?
The mechanism doesn't matter as much as the result.
Exactly. The result is that you start doing the internal work.
That is such a grounded way to look at it. If the illusion of a sign gets you to work on your communication skills, then the sign did its job.
It sure did.
But naturally, when your brain is overloaded with these numbers and you're having these vivid dreams, you crave a tangible anchor.
Right. You want something real.
You want to put a face to the feeling. And according to the source material, that is the exact psychological gap that leads people to seek out psychic artists. Which brings us to Tina Aldea's specific method.
Right. Curiosity peaks and abstract feelings aren't enough anymore. People want a visual artifact.
And she provides one. The source details how Tina Aldea combines psychic intuition, energy reading, and artistic interpretation to create a personalized sketch of what a person's future soulmate might look like.
Okay.
But I have to ask, how does that actually work? How does someone claim to translate a feeling or an energy into a specific jawline or the shape of someone's nose?
It's a very abstract concept. According to the source, the artist isn't necessarily seeing a high-definition photograph in their mind's eye.
Okay.
Instead, they are interpreting energetic impressions. So if the artist picks up on an energy that feels incredibly grounded, protective, and stubborn.
They might draw a strong jawline.
Exactly. They might artistically translate that into a strong square jawline. If they pick up on an energy that is highly perceptive and intense, they might draw very sharp, piercing eyes.
So it is an artistic translation of an emotional frequency.
Precisely.
Okay, so it's a symbolic rendering of personality traits. That makes it a bit easier to digest. So what does this all mean for the skeptics listening right now? Because I know there are people listening who are crossing their arms thinking, energy readings translating into noses, come on.
Well, the source actually addresses skepticism directly, and I think its stance is incredibly healthy.
Oh, good.
It states very clearly that skepticism is completely normal and even welcomed. Many people who purchase these soulmate sketches start out as complete skeptics.
Yeah, the text is very transparent that people approach these services for wildly different reasons.
Right.
Some do it purely for entertainment, like a party trick. Hey, let's see what drawing I get. Maybe it'll look like my barista. This will be fun.
Exactly.
But others genuinely utilize them as profound tools to navigate their feelings.
And that is the crux of the source's advice. They emphasize that a reading or a sketch is not meant to be a literal GPS map.
Right.
It is not a wanted poster that you take to the local coffee shop and hold up next to people's faces to see if they are your destiny.
You don't use it to profile people at the grocery store.
Yeah, exactly. Instead, believers view these sketches as catalysts for self-discovery.
Catalysts.
Often, the process of receiving a sketch uncovers deep emotional blocks. For example, imagine you receive a sketch of someone who looks incredibly soft, kind, and gentle.
Okay.
But your immediate reaction is disappointment, because you usually date edgy, emotionally unavailable people.
Oh, that is a huge realization.
Right. The sketch didn't predict the future. It revealed the present.
Wow.
It forced you to confront a recurring, destructive pattern in your past relationships. The value wasn't in the pencil strokes. The value was in the emotional awareness that the process brought to the surface.
It clarifies what you actually value in a partner versus what you are habitually drawn to.
It's the mirror, not a crystal ball.
A mirror, not a crystal ball. I love that. A catalyst for emotional inventory.
Precisely. Which
Which really brings this whole deep dive full circle for you, the listener.
it does.
Because whether you view Tina Aldea's soulmate sketches as profound spiritual guidance, or as a fascinating artistic exploration of the subconscious, or just a really engaging piece of internet entertainment,
Right.
the sheer volume of questions she receives proves something undeniable.
And what's that?
It proves that we all share a fundamental unifying curiosity about love and destiny. We all want to understand the forces that shape our relationships.
We really do.
It reminds us that our personal journeys toward connection through the bad dates, the missed timing, and the transformative friction are some of life's most captivating adventures.
Absolutely.
We're all just trying to figure out how to evolve into our best selves and hoping to find someone who wants to share that evolution.
This raises an important question, though.
Oh,
One that builds on the very foundation of everything we've discussed today.
let's hear it.
If, as the source suggests, meeting a soulmate requires a mandatory period of intense personal growth,
Right.
does the mere act of believing in a soulmate actually create a self-fulfilling prophecy?
Oh, wow. I love where you're going with this.
Think about the mechanics of it. If you deeply believe there's a specific person out there for you, and you believe you must be ready for them when they arrive, you automatically start doing the work.
You do. You reflect on your flaws, you try to heal your past traumas.
You pay closer attention to your intuition and your environment.
Yeah.
By actively preparing yourself for a profound connection, are you simply becoming the absolute best version of yourself?
And in doing so, are you naturally attracting the exact type of transformative, healthy relationship you were searching for all along?
Exactly.
That is such a powerful thought to leave on. Does the belief in the destiny organically create the reality? I love that.
It's definitely something to think about.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the mysteries of connection. As you go about your week, keep your eyes open. Notice what your brain's bouncer is letting onto the VIP list. Pay attention to those unexpected moments of familiarity, but most importantly, keep an open mind to the friction and the opportunities for your own personal growth.
Beautifully said.
Because whether you are looking for a missing puzzle piece or a spiritual workout partner, the heavy lifting always starts with you. We'll catch you next time.